Stephen Jones joins you now. Here it is, the G-Bag Nation on 105.3 The Fan. Good afternoon, sir. How the heck are you?
Doing good, guys. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing great. We were just talking about Overshown here in his first season in the NFL since the injury last year. Would you say brightest spot on the defense? How would you weigh in on that topic?
Well, certainly he is one of the bright spots. Obviously with us having all our injuries and missing some of our top 4 defensive ends and, Bland and guys like that, he has really he makes you smile because his future's bright, his era's up, and, he's the type of football players you're looking for over there. I think, Maris ain't going to be far behind him in terms of being a young linebacker who plays the right way. His era's up too, but Overshown's obviously, playing at a very high level, and I think, he's only going to get better. Talk to any of our coaches, I think he's really got a special future in front of him.
We had a blast. You mentioned Deron Bland. We had a blast talking with him in Oxnard, California, and have missed him this year. How tough of a setback has he had here to leave his status where it is currently?
Well, it's just one that you're having to work through. All those injuries to your feet. They can they vary from player to player, and of course he's playing a position, especially at corner where you don't know, where you're having to react to receivers and plant and, put a lot of torque and pressure on that foot. So in order to, be out there and play at the level you have to in the NFL, it's got to be right. And so I do think he's getting better. And, it's just part of the process. Obviously, he's got a bright future. He was all-pro last year, led the league in pick sixes. And, we got 2 corners out there that just got to get going. And we've got, we think, 2 of the best in the game, especially when it comes to taking the ball away. And it's certainly, something that we hadn't done well this year is get the ball. So hopefully, as he makes progress and he gets back, then, that'll improve. It never hurts, though. It always helps the corner, though, when you're getting pressure on the quarterback. And that's certainly something, missing our 4 defensive ends we hadn't done, as well as we would have hoped to. So hopefully that'll get better as well. And we got a lot of football. We got 9 games left to play, and all our divisional opponents, other than the game we won against New York, but got a lot of football left to play.
Man, you think about it like you just put it. Without your 4 top defensive ends and 2 top corners for a lot of it, it can be tough sledding out there. But I was wondering if you had an updated maybe timeline on when we could see Bland back.
It's just it's just day to day with him. When he goes out there and works, and like I said, it's got to be at a level that he feels good about, that he's confident in, and it's just week to week now, and very well could happen next week. But certainly don't want to get too far ahead of it. It doesn't look like it's going to be this week, but certainly he's had a good week of work with Britt Brown.
Hey, Stephen, just watching the play of Carl Lawson, and, it looks like to me that maybe, not having a full training camp and having to kind of work through the season, is he kind of getting to the spot now where you feel like that, he's in shape, he's ready to go, he's been very productive for you, rushing the passer and playing the run. Is he got to that point now where you feel like that you're going to get some even better things from him going out?
Yeah, you certainly hope so. I think Wheat's made a lot of good progress. I mean, one of the fortunate things that comes when you have when you're unfortunate with injuries is, these guys get opportunities, Brian, and sometimes that's just what they need. I mean, Wheat has really come along, as a defensive end for us and gotten better, and certainly Lawson's being productive for us, and it's great that these guys have come in and gotten the opportunities, and now we'll be getting Micah back, it looks like, especially to have in our pass rush, for this weekend. And, certainly Nealon's right behind him, and then hopefully D-Law not far behind. Obviously, we're not going to get Sam Williams back this year, but, get those 3 back. And, guys like Chauncey and Wheat and Lawson have, they keep getting better and better each week. So hopefully that'll make us a better team as we head down the second half of the season.
And so last week too as well. I was really very nervous about the Pitts matchup at tight end for you in that game, and it appears that McQuamu came in. You had some guys play a little bit different role. Is that has to make you guys feel pretty good about it? You've struggled a little bit maybe dealing with some of these tight ends, and then with Dallas Goedert coming back this week, at least that you feel like that you can throw some bodies at him and maybe get that thing kind of shut down a little bit.
Well, we all remember Curse and the role he played, which was covering a lot of tight ends, and certainly did a hell of a job on Pitts. We were certainly concerned about the matchup as well, and rose to the occasion. He gets better every year. He's got great length. He's a bendy guy for a 6'4" guy, and did an outstanding job. So, like you said, these guys, some guys are getting opportunities, and it's paying off for us.
Stephen Jones with us on The Fan. How's Tyler Guyton progressing? I know he's been dealing with that neck and shoulder. He's listed as questionable going into the game against the Eagles.
Yeah, not unlike Zach's injury. Those things, it's all about the strength. And, he's working through it. He's getting better every day. But, we'll make that decision tomorrow whether we think, he can be effective enough to line up and play.
You made the trade for Jonathan Mingo, and I was wondering, what goes into weighing the college tape versus the pro tape when you make a trade like that? Is it just we're just falling back on what we liked of him coming out of Ole Miss?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously you count a lot on that when when you're going after a player who hadn't played a lot. I mean, he's been in the league a year and a half. He had a nice rookie year last year. I think he cut close to 500 yards worth of passes. But anytime a player is on a team that struggled, then there's a lot of moving parts when that's going on, and certainly Carolina's had their share of struggles, changing out coaching staffs and things like that. So we certainly put that into the equation as well. But, he's a guy who was the 39th player, I think, picked in the draft. He brings something to the table, our receiving core we don't have, which is elite size. He's a big man. I don't know if y'all have seen him yet, but he's, every bit of 6'2", 220, and we had real nice grade on him coming out, and he was one of those guys we actually had targeted. We were picking in the bottom of the second. He went at the top, but he was a guy we liked, and it factored in. And obviously, we think he's a guy who can help us this year. But one of the things that factored into that as well is the fact that we'll have him for 2 more years after this year.
Stephen, what do you think of the consensus among analysts and the media that it was an overpay, a 4th rounder for him?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to have their opinion. I certainly respect that. I mean, there's guys out there, and everything. There's a lot of things that go into a trade and what you give up for a player. And obviously, there's veteran guys out there who are under contract for a lot of money. That sometimes go for less. Amari. When we traded him, it was tough sledding out there, but we felt like we were getting a 2nd-round type player, and for a 4th-round pick. And the other thing that we're factoring into these days is the draft pool is not near as deep as it used to be. You don't have near the players that are coming out that used to come out with NIL, and a lot of guys stay in, and especially the guys that would normally be falling in that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round category because, they feel like they can, improve their draft status. Plus they're making good money. So, we just felt like for what we were going to get with our 4th round pick in the upcoming draft, that it would be hard to get the type of talent we could get with Mingo. And, everybody's going to have an opinion on what's too much and what's what's not enough, that type of thing. Everybody's, got their calibration of what you should be given. But we talked it over real well between Jerry, Will, and myself and Mike, and, felt like it was a good move for us.
Stephen, maybe some of the thoughts, and maybe I don't want to read into it too much. You did go get a young receiver. Is this, and I hate the word indictment because I don't think it's right because you're playing young guys, but is it a little bit of like, maybe the young guys aren't developing or, getting up to speed as fast as you thought they would, and you have to go out and maybe add somebody, or how do we read that?
No, I think you read into it. Obviously, that's not having Cooks. He was our number.
Sure.
We went in thinking he's a solid 2 for us, and then we're not going to have him, and he's free next year, and we understand, what our resources will be there, and we just felt like we needed to beef that up, knowing we're not for sure when we're going to get Cooks back, and felt like Mingo is a guy who certainly can be a 2 in this league.
Mm-hmm.
And, bring, when we had to not have Cooks, he brings certainly some depth to that position.
Is the factor of maybe gaining a bunch of compensatory picks, which you seem to be in line to be getting maybe in the 5th round, does that go into the decision at all, thinking, hey, we could probably recoup that 4th rounder maybe with a move up?
Well, certainly we'll be looking at that, but there's no question we should end up with 4 compensatory picks. I think, before we gave up the 4th, but we did get a 7 back, so we'll still have 10 picks. We just won't have one there in the 4th. And as you said, our projections are similar that we're going to end up with 3, if not more, 5th round type picks. And, we'll just see kind of where the draft is and where we think the meat of it is in terms of where we need to be to get a player we might want.
My last question for you, Stephen. There's uncertainty out of Philadelphia with the status of Jaylen Herz. Did he take a rest day on Wednesday, or does he have an ankle? And I just wondered if there is lack of transparency on the other side game week, how much does that bother you guys as you get ready to compete?
No, we just gotta be prepared to face their best, which is Hertz. And if it's not Hertz, then we know we'll be playing whoever they decide to put up next. But that's just part of it. That comes with the league, and people are always gaming the system, but we also have rules in this league that keep you down the middle for the most part.
Do just need to ask about Dak before we let you out of here, Stephen. Is it trending that he's probably going to be placed on IR?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance we'll see Dak on IR. I think it could be, probably no way he could be back in the 4-week time frame. So, we'll put him over there, and we'll have that roster spot, to use in terms of the next 4 weeks, and and go from there. Obviously, tough situation, losing him for that period of time, but we're going to do what's in the best interest of Dak. And, right now I don't think anyone knows whether it'll be 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or the season. So we'll just have to continue to monitor that and see where it takes us. But, feel very good about Cooper. Like some of the things Trey can do. I know Mike's and Shotty are back there, figuring that out. But, I thought Cooper did a hell of a job against Atlanta the other day. He's obviously stepped up in the past and won a lot of games for us. So we feel real good about what Cooper can do. And, anything accretive that Trey can do will be great too.
Well, that was great. Stephen, thanks for all your answers, and give him hell out there. We'll be pulling for you.
All right, guys. Thank you.